Hi fabulous first graders of St. Lucie County. Mrs. Tyson here again to go over our Wednesday lesson. So happy Wednesday, and hopefully you've been following along on your Canvas lessons. So today we're going to work on our standard. Remember, our standard is our focus for the lesson. So today's standard is retell the key details and demonstrate understanding of the central message or lesson in the story. So remember, today we're going to focus on the lesson. What did the character learn? So before we do that, we have to retell the story. So when I retell something, that's exactly how it sounds, is I'm going to tell it over again. So what I want you to do is grab a stuffed animal, or you can grab a person in your house, and I want you to retell the story. So grab your stuffed animal, and I want you to retell the characters, good, the setting, awesome, the problem, great job, and the solution. Awesome job, boys and girls. I want you to give yourselves a hip, hip, hooray. You ready? Hip, hip, hooray! Hip, hip, hooray! You did an awesome job retelling your story to your stuffed animal or to your person at home. So remember, the characters in the story was the grasshopper and the ants. The grasshopper was the main character in the story. So when we look at the story today, I want you to look at the main character. That means really take a look at what's happening to them in the story, because something happened to Grasshopper in our story, right? Awesome. The next thing I want you to look at is, what did they learn? So remember, the grasshopper had a problem in the story. His problem was he was not prepared for winter. He didn't gather food to prepare for winter. All he wanted to do was dance and sing and play around. The next thing I want you to look at is, what did you learn? Because that's going to be really what the lesson is. The author wants you to learn something from the story, and that is the lesson. Okay? Awesome. So I want you to look at, for that part, how did the ants help Grasshopper, and what did they do for him to help him solve his problem? Awesome. Okay, so now thinking about what the lesson means, we're going to talk about, did the grasshopper listen in the story? Did he listen to the ants? What do you think? That's right. If you said he didn't listen, you are correct. What did the grasshopper do instead of listening to the ants? Think back to the beginning of the story. Great job. If you said he danced, he sang, and he played instead of gathering food, you're correct. So he didn't listen to the ants, right? What did the grasshopper learn? Think about that for a minute. What did the grasshopper learn in the story? That's right. He learned by not gathering food and storing food for the winter, he became tired and hungry, right? That was in the middle of the story. So he learned something right away in the middle of the story. He was too busy dancing and playing and singing to really get prepared for the winter. The winter finally came around, okay? And at the end of the story, the ants ended up helping the grasshopper, right? They felt bad for the grasshopper because he was tired and hungry. He wasn't prepared for the winter. So at the end of the story, what did the grasshopper learn? That's right, to be prepared for the winter and not play all day. Awesome. So, with that being said, what did you learn from the story? Me too. I learned that I should be prepared and not play all day. Those are two very important lessons that we learned from the story. So I'm going to put that at the bottom of my chart paper to help you better understand what lesson we learned today from our story. and from the grasshopper. So we learned to be prepared, and not play all day. Okay, boys and girls, and you can really make a text to self connection with that. What that means is I can connect myself, okay, to the text. And whenever I do that, I make a symbol like this. I made a text to self connection, because if Miss Tyson played all day, could I get any work done? No. Would I get any teaching done? No. So I really made a text to self connection with that. So if you made a text to self connection to the ant and the grasshopper, I want you to give me this symbol. Good. So your moms and dads tell you not to play around all day, get some work done so you can play. So that's probably your text to self connection you made with the story. So what I want you to think about moving forward, whenever you see a fable like this or a fairy tale, usually the lessons are in the story and they teach you a lesson. The author wants you to learn a lesson. Okay? Thumbs up if you learned a lesson in the story today. Awesome sauce. So what we're gonna do is I will see you next Monday, and we will actually start a new story, and I am so excited and so proud of you, boys and girls, for all the hard work that you're doing on Canvas. Bye for now.